It's 5:15. I'm calling this meeting to order. And everybody is here. I have no idea where Alana is. She out of the country or what? I didn't
He's
hear
in
from her.
Costa Rica.
Okay. I would really appreciate, so everybody understands now, we do not have a secretary till the first week of February. I'm out of here on the 30th of January, so until somebody's gonna have to step it up. Because Carolyn can't get back in the game until like the February, because she has to be off the dole for 30 days. in
Right.
order- But she will be back on about the 5th of February, just so everybody's aware. And all the stuff when I send out, you know what's going on, because I'm having to cover all the spot and I don't know what is going on because I at all, okay? So, on the minutes. Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions on the minutes for December 11th?
There's a motion to accept as written. Second.
Any further discussion? All right, we're gonna have to roll call this because Mr. Gibbons, can you vote on the minutes, please?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Meyer.
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Mr. Norton?
Yes.
Mr. Chamberlain? Mr. Van?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson, yeah. Read down.
David,
Him as
yes.
good. Yeah, unanimous, good job, okay. We have two parks requests. And the first one is, and would you promote Devin so he can speak?
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry I couldn't make it.
Hi.
The weather's just looking a little messy out there.
Don't know
Yes,
about the
so-
flood. You drove down the hill, go ahead. What do you
So
need?
I'm here to ask for another usage for our group mentorship program through Railroad Street for the Housatonic Dome. Currently we meet on Wednesdays from 3 to 5. I'm looking to start a new program that will be on Fridays from the exact same time. Exact same layout, exact same number of people, exact same, like almost identical, just a different program.
And what is the basis of the program, please?
So our basis of the program is it's a queer and questioning group mentorship specifically designed for our LGBT young people and mentors to delve into LGBT history within the Berkshires, and also thinking about things that have been going on in the local news lately, especially with the boys middle school. I just want to make
Read any
sure that
books? Devin, do you get to read any books?
yeah, I mean, we definitely will offer a lot of books.
Good.
We have my hope is that we're just going to be able to engage our young queer folk to really connect with the community and really connect with themselves and others in the Berkshires. So our base of group mentorship itself is just really, again, connecting our mentors, so 21 and up typically, and our young folk together to create really strong bonds and explore the Berkshires in their own way.
Okay, a couple of things I just wanna review with you. Number one, the DPW over the last 10 days has done an incredible job cleaning out the Hoosie Dome. That whole front room, a lot of the voting stuff has all been put upside, a lot of the chairs have gotten, they're repainting everything. If you guys go in there and make a mess, trust me when I tell you, there will be hell to pay, number one. Number two, use that front room. If you're gonna have snacks, don't eat them on the basketball court.
Yes,
We have enough trouble with food remnants from basketball, popcorn, candy stuff, which I will go chat with them about, but let's stay off the court with food, okay?
Yes, I think I actually even put it in the proposal itself or the parks usage form that all of the food will not be eaten on the basketball courts. We will not be anywhere near that.
Right, that's good. Also, I would like you to stick around because something I'm gonna bring up under new business. That, and I think it lends itself to this, is that I would like to have the young people of this community and start getting in the game when it comes to volunteering and doing things. So I would like to know at some point what Railroad Street Youth Project is gonna do for the community of Great Barrington. I'm not saying tonight, I'm just saying, just know that this idea is going to be hatched and start to be dealt with, okay?
Yes, I have. I mean, I can also tell you that today we actually had two separate staff meetings about getting our young people more involved in both in light of what has been happening with the news, but then also, again, just volunteer work and getting into it and especially building that community again.
Great. Any comments, questions, or concerns from anybody on the committee?
How many Fridays? What are the dates?
9 to 12 months.
Yes.
You see under requesting 9 to 12 month weekly program.
Yes.
Okay,
It's-
Bill, Tom, Terry,
That's good.
anything? Paul?
Yes.
So nothing else is happening in the Who's Dome?
I
During that
do
time.
not believe, from my understanding, I think that time span's open.
And basketball comes in at 5, so as long as they know.
Right,
Just
Kevin, you gotta
just
be
as
out
on
at
Wednesday.
5.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
I also add on 5 too. Exactly. So we're all good there.
Good.
Motion to approve. Second.
All those in favor, roll call vote. Mr. Gibbons,
Yes.
Mr. Meyer,
Yes.
Ms. Andujar.
Yes.
Mr. Norton.
Yes.
Mr. Chamberlain.
Yes.
So Debbie Reddy.
Yes.
Mr. Bannon.
Yes.
Smith, yes, unanimous. Next. Thank you, Devin.
Thank you.
Stay in touch. Okay. Now. Miss Abbott. Extra specialties.
There
As
we
we
are.
all
Can
know.
you hear me?
If you haven't been to extra specialties, there is a new spot in Housatonic at the old Hoosie Market. And Jennifer, I've known for a long time, and now she's got some program. So what do you want to do there, ma'am?
So, when the weather's warm out, we go across to the park, we shoot hoops, and now that it's cold, we kind of were looking for another inside space to use so they could go shoot hoops, maybe do some exercise, yoga, play some music. Just another outlet for us to have.
You just
do
have
you
a,
guys, do you,
you have
do you
a
guys want
problem.
me to? Oh, okay, go ahead.
You have a problem because you're scheduling yourself on Fridays from 11 to 12 when pickleball is already there. But
Okay.
normally we don't run that late, so I'm just telling you that pickleball normally has it till 12 on Friday.
Friday morning.
Fridays from 11, normally 9 to 12, pickleball is in the gym, but I will tell you, we normally don't play past 10:30, a quarter of 11. So it shouldn't be a problem, but I'm just
Oh.
telling you that it may get, it's starting to get a little interesting in winter because there's no place else to play.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, perfect. Do you,
How
does
many adults?
everybody, do you want me to give you guys a little background on what we're all about?
Sure.
So, we are a nonprofit tea house. We have 2 locations, one in Great Barrington, one in Housatonic. We employ mostly young adults. We do have a few older adults with disabilities. And we provide them with lots of employment experience. We do have some transition students that come to us from the local high schools. We have, I think we're up to 35 participants and 17 staff. Yeah, we started out with, I think, 4 participants and 3 staff 7 years ago. So, yeah, that's a little bit about us.
Questions, concerns, issues? Bill?
I think, wow, that's incredible growth. Congratulations. And
Thank you.
so on Tuesday, you go from 1 to 2. Is there any way you could do Tuesday and Friday, or Thursday and Friday from 12 to 1? In order to make it so you don't intersect with the pickleball there? Is that a hard time?
I could take it back to the team and see. So see if we can change Thursday, Friday, 12 to 1. That may
Doesn't
be,
have to be Thursday. No. Only
Just
Friday, we. play
only
people Tuesday,
Friday.
Friday and Saturday, so the only jam up at this point is Friday. What I'm
Friday.
telling you is we're normally done by 11, although it is slotted and there have been people coming in later, so just so you know. But I think Bill's
So-
is a great suggestion.
So we may be able to do that. I'll take it back to the team and ask.
Yeah,
From
I
12,
think Bill's
we
right.
could-
We shouldn't approve 11 to 12, because there's already someone in
Right.
there, and we're just setting ourselves up for failure.
Yeah,
Right.
okay,
Um,
Jennifer, so
could we
conditionally, we'll
do-
give-
Could 1 to 2 work instead
absolutely,
of 12 to 1?
absolutely.
Okay, that would probably be better because 12,
All right,
like
so what
around
times do
lunchtime.
you want?
Okay,
What
so
times do you-
Tuesday 1 to 2,
Yeah,
Thursday 11 to 12, and Friday 1 to 2.
very good.
So moved.
Perfect.
Great,
Immediately, starting immediately?
second.
Thank you. Second, when do you want to start this?
We could start it next week
Perfect. Have a
and
blast.
probably maybe through the end of April. Just
Okay.
until the weather gets warm and then we can go back outside. And then I don't know, would I need to come back next year when the weather gets cold or could,
Yes,
okay. All right,
because God knows things change, so I'd rather. have you come-
exactly. Okay,
Okay,
Thanks for the good work you're doing.
that's great.
We need to know.
I know that.
Okay, good.
I'm waiting. We're gonna do a vote. Mr. Gibbons,
Yes,
Mr. Meyer,
Yes.
Julie,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Terry, Steve.
Yes.
Sir Debbie, Karen, yes, it's unanimous.
thank you
good.
so much.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
So do I need
Miss-
to hang out for the rest of the meeting?
Nah, you're good.
Okay,
Only if you
thank you
want
so
to.
much.
Mr. Aberdale, time to come to the front of the bus. You tell me how you want to handle what you're gonna do here.
Tell you where we're at with parks, right?
That's a good idea, and then we'll go through the soccer and the Memorial Field.
We talked about that a little bit. Memorial Field's down for shutdown for the winter. Lake Mansfield will be finishing up this week for the winter. Pretty much it, in Olympia Meadows, we're continuing to work on nice days down there on dugouts.
Where are we at? The pads have been poured.
For both the softball and the major league field.
Great.
Blocking's up on the softball field, I don't believe the blocks on
On the baseball.
the baseball field.
Great. So. Joe has spent a lot of time, you all have these in front of you. Are you dudes here for this? Well, why don't you come up and get,
Thanks.
okay? Go ahead, Joe.
So, as the charge of duties was for the commission last month, we put together a schematic plan with what we heard from the state group and Narrow Street. I think we accomplished what they're looking for. So here is now the schematic for the board. The first page kind of shows the improvements and what they are. And the second page kind of shows a lighting plan. So we, I think we touched on it, included pretty much everything. Railroad Street and the state district been looking for. I sent you all an email that just some real rough numbers on the cost to do this work.
Would you remind us, please, sir? Would you remind us on the numbers?
About $325,000. Not my number, it's not an engineering estimate.
Hello? I'm looking for some input here.
On what?
Concept. Well, first of all, $325,000 would be our capital budget for 2 full years, so if we're going to do something of this magnitude, I believe we're gonna have to go to CPA, and I don't I don't know how much of an appetite there is, since we have a $500,000 bond out on Memorial Field, just so you know.
Well, the other funding source is town meeting.
Correct.
I see no reason why CPA shouldn't be tapped into this. I mean, it's up to the CPC, but
Yeah.
I don't see why we shouldn't be able to ask. It's a year away, I understand, but it still is
Right.
worth asking. Maybe not for the whole, but maybe half of it and half in capital.
I want to hear from the commission. That's what I want to hear from, and I want to hear from these gentlemen. Normally we don't, but I'd like to hear what they have to say about all of this and what they think. Introduce yourselves and give me some input, John.
I'm Stephen Browning. I, local skateboarder and just advocate for the skate park. And this is, Tiger Coleman. Grew up here, been using the skate park since I was old,
You're older than that now.
older than that now.
Yeah.
Skating since I was 8, but I didn't come down here until I was 12.
Okay.
Lennox. Yeah. And you're looking for thoughts of just what we think about the layout, the design, et cetera? You want to talk or?
Sure. I really basically just came today to have input about the design itself, if that's sort of, but yeah. I think a lot of people, maybe this is a generality, I think a lot of people kind of will see something like the Pittsfield Skate Park and think, oh, that looks really cool. Like, why can't we have something like that? And I think this is very similar, like in sort of design, like aesthetics. All the years I've been using the Great Barrington Skate Park, it's been a very, very consistent feeling from everyone that I've invited from out of town to come skate it, that they just really love the simplicity of it. And they really want it to stay as close as it can be to what it is now, but in a way that's more, you know, like if we did everything in concrete, but just as it is, like the same obstacles where they are, so that there doesn't have to be maintenance or something like that over the years, like
Right.
that's something to consider, like that would be, you know, having that sort of big skate plaza kind of look, I've never gotten the sense that it would really be, I guess maybe appreciated exactly by the community and by the people that come from out of town to use the park, as a lot of people do. That being said,
It would lose the feel of what you guys got.
it would, right, it really has a reputation for having an atmosphere to it that isn't like,
Showtime.
right.
So what contributes to that? Like the rough
It's
boxes, like
So
you
a
say,
couple things, yeah, the simplicity of what's there, of the sort of design.
Mhm.
The roughness. Yes and no, like the rough, like the way that the ground is now is something I know that we've been talking about a lot over the summer. It seemed to have gotten really bad this year.
What ground?
What is like the hockey rink. That whole flat
Yeah.
surface of the hockey rink, it's
It's-
wavy, it's cracked,
It's 12 years old.
yeah.
The guy that put it down should have been
So-
drawn and quartered 5 years ago. Go ahead.
Like, so that, just the condition of that ground,
Mhm.
the condition of the curbs that surround that.
The
ground.
deck, I would call that a deck.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm specifically speaking of the, like, you know,
Yeah.
5-inch by 5-inch curves.
Yeah.
the slider.
They're falling over, they're uneven, they're, you know,
They're done.
that's just sort of like our big takeaways, I think, within the people that use it every day is like, we don't really, so interested exactly in this like grand new park. Although number 4, the bowl, we could talk about that as sort of a separate thing. But we really, the sort of top of the list for us is like, we just want a nice smooth ground. because it's not anymore.
Enhance what we got.
And, yes.
Repair what we got, we don't need
Section
bells and
two
whistles.
is,
Yes, I'm specifically talking about the area. of
that's called section two on this
Yes.
plat. And that's- so can I just suggest that if we're all in agreement, and I haven't heard that we all are, that we want to pursue this, that if we're going with CPA money, we're a year away, and that will give Joe and some other people time to meet and discuss the real plan. And that will also give us time to figure out what that will cost.
Who asked?
If I may, what we did right after the last meeting is we reached out to Merrill Street Youth and they put together a group, which I think both of you gentlemen are. And they kind of gave us the
A hit
highlights
list,
of
right.
what they want. Then we took that to Diet Bottom and compared this, which really it's very similar to what's there.
It is,
Except the bold zone, because we've heard how.
The whole number 3 section is new.
Yeah.
For me, and I think for not a small amount of people would be an issue. But I certainly don't want to, just throw this whole thing out.
Yeah.
Like,
Good idea.
Number 4 is, I think, an improvement.
The radius on the bowl from the time it was built was
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, it was, well, they're all different, but
The whole,
there's multiple in the.
it just, the whole thing was not, the people who said they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And the person who was in his position at that point had no idea what was going on. By the time it was done, they were gone. We never got back what we needed to. Whatever we would do on this, I would want a performance bond on it to make sure that we don't run into the same difficulty. I don't think we would with Joe on it, but whatever.
From the contract,
Terry did, what?
the contract.
Yeah. Did you have something you want to say,
No,
Tom?
What's not clear to me is, I don't know how much of this is expanded from the original footprint, I mean, is there another picture or somewhere that I could look at to see how the existing is, can compare to this, so we can see what's been, I can get a better idea about how much.
Agree is that, that's kind of like a dead area with a pyramid, but yeah, I understand you want to see it.
So 3 is an addition, but the space where 4 is occupied is all
Pretty similar, yeah.
is in that space, so we're
It's all
not
there,
really,
yeah.
the footprint isn't increasing only in the
Right here.
section of
This
3.
is just about, it.
Right.
Just a little bit of that.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
The footprint, it doesn't, from this, it really doesn't seem like a change.
okay, that's what I was trying to understand.
Do you guys like the ability to move those, the jumps around? Is that, because that's plywood right now, right? Pretty
Yeah,
much.
the plywood,
What's movable, yeah.
Is that something that happens? Is that something you want?
I think once they're kind of set where they are, that's like where they all are now, it's pretty.
It has happened in the past, what's there has been moved around in the past, I would say, I don't know, 8 years, maybe it's changed like twice.
Oh.
So it doesn't
So
happen.
cement would be preferable in some ways.
Like
Yeah,
the Stockbridge Park is that way. They're permanent.
Yeah, but they did a bad
but
job.
hopefully not built like that.
No, I'm just saying,
This thing,
I understand. I have not found one in Berkshire County that was done right,
yeah.
really.
Yeah.
You guys don't like the stairs
between
Karen,
The
what's the
stairs are up
section
there, and the
between?
only issue with the stairs right now
Yes.
is, you're creating like,
Creating a big elevation change.
and like also that's going in the middle of the park, so if someone's coming down the stairs, then the whole flow of the park as it is now goes like up and down vertically on 2.
That's the
So-
stairs in
So the
between
stairs,
2
you got
and
somebody
3.
kind of jumping right into like where the flow kind of generally is. So there has
So
been,
it's creating a dangerous.
yeah,
situation.
that's one red flag that we kind of, we're thinking
Okay.
about a little bit, but
But do you guys, like the rail that's in the middle there, like?
I think,
that's-
I think the local skateboarders would like it.
Love it. They would love that.
So if you move the stairs up to like the corner of like here. Something like that to keep
Yeah,
it.
potentially.
Okay, we're ahead of ourselves. I think what we need, this group needs to decide tonight is, are we in agreement? And I think with that, I'll get to you in a minute. As Steve said, are we in agreement that we want to go further with this? Sir Devin?
Is there any way to get more parking?
That would be great,
Because it
yes.
sounds like it's a place where people from out of town,
There
What
is no place to park.
then where are they, like, how are they getting here?
Well, if they're able to skate, they can park in town and walk.
There's no
Okay.
parking in town
Well,
either.
there's parking in town.
Most people, I know this is probably not the ideal situation, but most people usually just use the back of Searles.
There,
That will be gone.
That eventually is
Oh,
gonna
Which
close
is gonna
out.
disappear, yeah,
Yeah, what I mean is that,
yeah.
especially people from out of town will sort of just figure.
Well, and the
It might
other,
not be
What's the
ideal.
percentage of out-of-town people? You use that terminology, out of town a lot.
So, I mean, there are.
Which is, you know,
From the, like, where library used to be and the Garden of Pittsfield, there's shops in Albany, Springfield area, several in Springfield area. All of these people, just from being right in such close proximity, I mean, a 40-minute drive that way isn't really a big deal. It's really kind of created a community. It extends even down into New York City, out to Boston, and even beyond, I guess. There is one day, which maybe some of you are familiar with, where everyone kind of comes down to the park for a little contest in the summertime,
Mhm.
usually it's in August. But that's like a big sort of explosion of like people.
Well, the
But,
other people, they park, I'll tell you where they park, is in the co-op parking lot.
well, yeah, right, that's what I mean, they'll kind of figure out something.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
always been a problem.
what?
That's always been a problem, and when Memorial Field's getting expanded, there's gonna be demand for parking to use that as well.
Let me tell you something, you only have so much
I know,
acreage and it's gonna be. We cannot solve that problem.
I know, but it's worth
do have to
thinking
take
about,
it into
and also,
well, just.
we
'cause we're-
hear, there, it is an issue that I've heard it brought up a lot, but, you know, we're spending Great Barrington taxpayers' money for a feature which is being expanded for out of town, you know, and, or the use of
Well, we're not,
wherever.
we're not doing it, we're doing it for local people, if out of towners come.
I know, but there seems to be,
That's good for business and.
They
Well-
spend money.
however it works, but, you know, I think funding and cost, you know,
Tom, this isn't aimed at you, but I am so sick of the them and they and us argument that if we build it for our local people and a few out of towners come or.
right.
That,
No.
and they do spend money, they buy gas, they go to restaurants.
Right.
No, I
And-
agree.
Robin's Candies.
Yeah,
I agree, but I just think that when it comes to funding mechanisms that it's coming on our back of our 7,000 taxpayers or houses, you know, that there's maybe gotta be some balance for bringing in a little outside,
How in the
capital.
name of God would you suggest we fund this? If it wasn't.
that's why I think the
Or
CPA,
I'm just putting this out there for a
I
thought.
get it.
That's
Trust me.
all. I don't have any solution.
yeah, no, I get it, Tom, CPA is the closest we have.
I like
And-
that, you know, the town will have places that are a draw, like any other town,
Yeah.
there, you know,
Well,
there are
that's right.
features in every town that are
Yeah.
like draws for people
I
outside, you
learned
get a
tonight, I
reputation
never
for a
realized
really
that
nice,
Our
cool
little
skate
skate
park.
park brings them in from,
Well, the other thing is when Memorial Field, I'm going to charge all the baseball groups. It's like, when we have this show place, drag your ass and have some tournaments and get people in town and bring them here, because that's gonna be one hell of a facility to play baseball in, whether it's for kids or the Millers or whatever. It's a downtown, it's centrally located. It's the same thing we're dealing with when we're gonna be dealing with the bouldering. I mean, it's a spot on the East Coast that people like to come. Well, if we've got a skate park and we've got a baseball, hello, you know?
I have one question about this though, like, because it's so expensive, I'm just wondering if like these additional features that are probably like a huge part of the budget potentially, if they're going to be something that takes
Like what?
away from, well, that's what I want to ask them. What part of this would take away from that, like the simplicity, like the reputation for this being like just a more rough and simple skate park, because we, you know, we don't want to spend so much money and then we
Yeah.
take away the thing that makes it charming for skaters.
Yeah. That was, kind of brings me back to one of the first things I said, being like the being resurfaced and the curves being redone.
Mhm.
Like, if you just did that, and I know that there is a technique where you can, instead of having blocks of curves, you can just have one long continuous curve.
Mhm.
That would be a unique skate feature if you built something, if something like that was built at the park. Like having a curve with no seams in it, no gaps.
Yeah.
Um,
But you're not suggesting we don't try to fix the bowl.
those are my two things,
Yeah.
the bowl and what I just said there. That's where I think
Money should go.
the money should
The
go.
money should
I
go.
think for me, I mean, for me personally, number 3 doesn't even need to be. Number 3 can be changed to make it something that would cost less, you know, an elevation change just on its own would be sort of a bigger project for a skate park building company.
But
You know, as
essentially,
opposed to like a box.
but essentially you want to maintain the character of the existing
Yeah.
Right.
facility, so if we just change the bowl and resurface the
The number 2,
The deck.
number, the deck,
yeah, the deck.
that would be enough,
That would be like,
Huge.
enough.
yeah.
Okay,
If
so
it ended there, that's
let's,
fine.
let's stop now because we're not going to get any further in this discussion than we already are. And I would take a motion that we would keep moving on this. Let Joe continue on. Okay, but I need a motion from the committee.
So moved. Second.
Okay. Any further discussion on this, other than our charges is Mr. Abigail will start to flesh this out to the next level? Is that what we're looking at? Is that what you want?
Karen,
Yeah, Bill, Paul, what?
just a question here. What do you, your motion, what do you mean by moving on? I'm not sure what that means.
I think that this is very much a preliminary sketch. And I would like a stronger idea of what it would cost to resurface the deck and fix the bowl. I would like to know those two things.
Including the basketball
Yeah.
court.
Including the basketball court. Not doing this number 3. Okay? Relocating the shed is not a thing. The shade structure, I think, is important. I think that has to be all part of it. But that's what I would, you know, reconstruct the sidewalk. The retaining wall has to be done. I mean, a lot of this has to be done, and I'd like to know where we are financially and what the cost would be for that.
And if we can cut from the original proposal and
Cut
so
what?
much, some of the costs.
Well, this right here.
Yeah,
Wait,
That's right, we're looking for a little bit stronger numbers.
right,
Mr. Wagner,
that's what I would.
Oh, hi, sorry. I just wanted to add in specifically about number 3. I just want to keep the idea of both the railing and the stair set. Those were the 2 biggest asks from our young people at Railroad Street. I'm just wondering if there's a way that we can keep the like we can move around them or move them around. Just keeping in mind our young people and what they're asking for as well. I think
Okay.
everything else is exactly how I've heard it. I just want to make sure that we're also keeping in mind them.
I want
That's
to
the only thing
know, I need to know the costs.
Yes.
That's what I
Yeah.
need to know, because this is gonna be like, okay, boys and girls, this is what we can do for this, this and this. And whatever, so what I'm asking Joe is to drill down to get better numbers. Is that what we're looking at, Terry?
Yeah, but shouldn't we first find out what exactly we want
Yeah.
and then find out how much it costs?
I don't think it matters what we want, because you don't want me on
No,
a
no.
a skateboard, but, well, they already have.
You know what I'm saying,
They-
these guys.
No, they already have.
They told us.
Bill, they already have met. He met with the Railroad Street Youth, he's met with these
No.
guys, and he'll continue to meet with them.
That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, well, that's been in process and how it got started to begin with, the input coming from these guys about the deck, the radius of the bowl. Now I'm hearing from Devin, he wants to know if we can keep the rest. Okay, great. That's why these guys have all been part of the discussion. This certainly didn't come from Tom Norton or Karen Smith. It's like, yeah, we really need a railing to ride, you know? Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Devin,
Mhm.
is number 3 something that the kids want for skating or? Because it sounds like you guys don't want it,
So it's a
so,
little bit of like, you know, there's like the young kids, they'll be like, oh, we really want this, this and this, and then my. If you're a
Skaters.
skateboarder or not, yeah, they're skaters,
oh, okay.
you know, but like, you know, as us older people, we feel like we have more wisdom in that sense, where we're like, these are the features that really do matter. and those are kind of flash in the pan features a little bit, you know, like, you go, right? And
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a
And-
right expression, I think.
Yeah.
You're gonna use the stairs in some fashion to the lower level number two. Number three, to some extent, has to be surfaced. Cause you're gonna start up there, hit
That's what I mean, saying that that big elevation change in surface, that'll be a big cost sink
Oh,
for
that's probably.
something that
the
maybe.
the cheapest. More than bringing the fill to bring up an elevation. But to my point, if you're number three, if you're skating up here and you're gonna hop onto the rails or something, you gotta be up here,
Yeah.
hit the rails and then come down, so maybe all the three doesn't have to be surface, but a portion does.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's lots of skate parks that have, you know, that feature number three, like everywhere, you know, and the reason our skate park is kind of awesome is because it doesn't have that. And you go all the skate parks, they all have that, and it doesn't get skated, so.
Okay,
It's kind of fun, yeah.
we are.
Yeah.
We're getting there. Let's just.
I
let
just,
The next level of development come up.
I just wanted to just clarify one thing if I could too, sorry. When I'm thinking about number three, if the elevation change is something that the older skaters would say is something that we don't need in the skate park, I think that that's totally something that we should focus on. My request is only to make sure that there is a railing that younger skaters can skate on, and there is some sort of equivalent to the stair set. Those are the two
Okay.
biggest asks. It doesn't necessarily need to look like that, though. That's
Okay.
all. Thank
You
you.
good, Mr. Aberdale? Do you have your direction, sir?
One question, the area three,
They just said-
so if we're not doing some skating surface, it'll be green space.
It could be, or, you know, it's like kind of unusable surface right now because it's not that skatable, but it would be great to have it a skatable surface.
But
And
not high.
There's,
I guess I can take,
yeah,
Yeah.
I can
There-
take
there's,
that
there's
comment
ways,
back.
there's definitely ways to redesign just the number three section
Okay.
that would make it
Okay,
involve
We
these
don't need to
things,
do
but
that here.
would still.
no,
For
we're
sure.
good. We have got enough food for thought, I believe, for the banquet.
thank you for your time.
Okay. So can I have I'm gonna vote on this to move forward. That we're gonna turn Mr. Aberdale loose with the skaters and with time bond. Bill?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to continue the,
Yeah, we've got the motion in a second. I'm just asking for a vote.
yes.
Good.
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Karen? Steve?
Yes.
So
Yes.
Debbie? Karen, yes. Paul?
Yes.
There we go. It's unanimous. Very good.
You spell that.
Unanimous.
You won't wanna hear her answer, I'm sure.
Calm yourself, Terrence. Go ahead, next.
Well, the next one was that started that you gave us with the book. The footprint of a soccer field down at Liberty Mountain. This is a survey plan, so everything's there to scale. One thing that we learned, looking through all this and what's available, the size of the soccer field, basically every age group has a different size. So that's like, three or so different options here. When you say regulation size, U12 is a perfect one out there, nice there. But if you're looking for regulation size, college level, there's a lot of, resource area that gets disturbed, walkway that gets disturbed. You also see that it's really that, so, I think if you're looking order of magnitude numbers, just permitting down there, you're talking 6 to 9 months because of the floodplain and the compensatory storage issues that would have to be created there. So that means anything, like we dig out a resource area in a certain elevation has got to be reproduced in another area. So permitting 6 to 9 months, and in any case, the construction could possibly be next summer. If you so choose, permitting is $40,000 to $50,000. The U12, about $225,000 to put that in. The regulation NCAA, you're probably talking $400,000.
I don't, I gotta be honest
Some
with you.
dimensions for senior citizen.
Well, we bring our lines in
U12.
smaller when,
See, where my confusion comes with this is that if you start with the permitting and all this other stuff, I'm like, wait a minute. We have two goals we spent money on. And they can adapt depending on what age group we got. I'm not willing to spend $150 or $200, $300,000 to make sure it's an NCAA field. I'm just not doing it.
I
So,
would like to, can I speak to that?
sure.
I think that seeing it located here, I think that that's what we've been asking for is a regulation soccer field, adult. There's minimum high school, but there's, the minimum U12 and the minimum high school all fit within that adult field. And you can, shorten the field, you can't make it bigger. And if we're gonna go through you can create a smaller field within a large field. As temporary. I mean, that's what we always do. We set up goals and lines and cones, but you can't make it bigger if you don't have the space. And if we create the space, which to make, then we have invested money into something that will be a regulation field.
$400,000 to. put a
Well, I don't know
regulation
how,
soccer field?
I don't know how the breakdown of the difference, I'm not sure where the numbers, I don't see where the numbers have, where the differences comes from. And one thing I noted that seemed to me is, like the relocation of the path. And I had a question for Joe, in Memorial Field, we're gonna do a walking track all around the Memorial Field. That's part of the project that's going on now, correct?
Yeah,
And-
we're utilizing the warning track.
So is that the field, the walking track that's going around Memorial Field, is that to the same extent of what this proposal is for this trail, or is it somewhat?
Somewhat less,
Yeah,
because on Memorial Field, parallel on Bridge Street, that we needed to complete the sidewalk along the
Mhm.
roadway for Railroad Street. So we're utilizing that, and then we're utilizing the warning track. The only added thing we did to make it a complete path would be from the right field lines back to home plate.
back to home plate, right? Because as I see this, the part of that trail, what is it, the path that was built, right, that would be removed. First of all, that path goes nowhere.
Right.
Right now. I mean, it ends at the edge of the property. I think there may have been intention that it could at a future time, be extended to the fairgrounds if that ever,
It continues on the other side of the fairgrounds. There's a link in the middle.
there's a link in the middle, okay?
Right.
But having that path enter the park, I don't really see why you have to necessarily continue it. Because if you're creating a field, you're creating a wide open space that you can utilize and walk, without having to put the money of a hard skate path around, back down.
Can I ask a question about that? to
Mhm.
Joe? Joe, when that was built, that trail, that was built with grant money, right? So,
It's federal.
so I would assume, and I'm asking this, that we would have to, if we moved it, we'd have to replicate it.
I think we have some obligation, yes.
Yes. So can I, we just spent $500,000 on a baseball field that's gonna get used intermittently. I think we can all assume that. I would say that this field would have people on it every single day. Right now up at the athletic center, at the oddest times of the day, we get 30 people in the gym wanting to play soccer. This would serve people from Great Barrington who help us in a variety of different ways. It is a great group of people that play soccer. And I'm not a soccer player, but if we're here to serve the greatest amount of people in our community, the soccer field is the biggest bang for our buck. Skate park, second or equal to.
Okay.
Please. do.
I agree, because right now our U14 kids go to West Stockbridge. The majority of the kids on the U14 teams are from Great Barrington, and we're always going to West Stockbridge. There's nowhere for them to play. If we put a
They
U,
can't play at the high school?
no, the high schoolers play at the high school. U14 is 7th and 8th graders,
Why can't they play at the high school?
because the high school is using their fields for high school practice.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, it's like, it would get used. This year, this spring, this fall, there were 5 U10 soccer teams. That means going up there, I mean, soccer is very popular in our town with,
But why couldn't this field be used, max U12? Why couldn't the U10s use this field as it is?
we don't need a U10 field because we have it at Muddy Brook. We need a U14 field.
Okay, where does a U14 field fit in here?
Sounds like the high school regulation. I'm just saying, I'm agreeing that soccer would be, a soccer field.
I'm
would
not
be used.
denying the fact that soccer is a sport that we could do something about. What I'm having a difficult time understanding, because it's sort of like baseball fields. If you go to different baseball stadiums, they're all different sizes. It's like, what can we do with what we've got without having to spend $400,000? That's what I wanna know. I mean, you did that whole overlay thing, Tom, remember? I'm like, okay, so the U12 is one thing, the high schools, I don't think we need to go NCAA size. Is there something that would be between the high school and that?
The overlay that I did was pretty much what the minimum high school layout you're looking at is. The only difference that was that I tilted it where it says existing light pole, the northwest corner, I tilted it right up against that, which took that corner
Out,
out of the path quite a bit, yes. But it would still, it still put it through the existing, practice softball.
okay, yeah, well, that's the
But
other problem.
That, you know,
If I could point out the NCAA size field, you lose the backstop, the fencing, you know.
You lose the whole junior field.
You do. There could, you know, you could take this field and locate it here. You know, where the backstop would be here. And
Okay.
just- And hit the ball that way. Obviously, you couldn't use both fields at once, but you can't enter here. But so, just wanted to point out that you lose that field.
And that's not included in the price to
No.
reclaim the.
No, and that
And
would
again,
be,
those prices are just myself and Ty and Bond talking, but you know, running through the numbers that way.
And also, can I say that the dimensions on in the area where it would be extended, the elevation is, it's not a flat elevation, there is elevation going down, so there would be like a considerable amount of fill coming in.
yeah,
And the fact that it's so close, it's in a floodplain, environmental, like permitting is gonna be a nightmare.
Concom is going to be all over this.
It's gonna be a nightmare for environmental permitting, it's right on the Housatonic floodplain. And I agree with you, I think this is an immense amount of money to put into this project. Despite the fact that we need a soccer field of regulation size, I think this is just not like the ideal location.
There's no easy answer here. I mean, Ty and Bond and Forsyth and Joe they've wrestled this back and forth, and I understand. I mean, when we bought the goals, I mean, I was going down there 3 or 4 days a week, and there were all sorts, I had the whole Ecuadorian contingent, Mama, can we play soccer? I'm like, go for it, boys. Well, can we schedule? I said, just show up, you know, so people were showing up, so I get it. I just I don't know. I mean, I get the whole Memorial Field thing, I get, but to spend that amount of money and having to redo the river walk and all the other jazz, it's
And I
like,
think we're gonna have a lot of pushback from people who use the Riverwalk, a
oh,
lot.
I
don't
don't
think,
even wanna.
you know, it's going to be
You think that-
publicity and saying that they're going to be removing part of the Riverwalk or the potential for the extension of the Riverwalk, the trees.
We got in trouble in Housatonic for the trail when we were removing saplings this big. You're getting rid of trees. I mean,
Yeah.
this would be
And also the reality is that Lake Mansfield is now becoming the Lake Mansfield Road is going to be a pedestrian walkway.
Correct.
Because like, if, you know, in today's, you know, with today's, permitting structure, that roadway could never be constructed, you know? So this is close to the Housatonic River. It's the same thing. Like, construction is gonna be very precarious. And I think permitting is gonna be an issue.
One option for the walkway is to go around the other way of the soccer field. Yeah, that's not a river walk anymore.
Yeah.
What about making, I mean, when I'm looking at this, I'm seeing two oxbows. I'm seeing an oxbow here and an oxbow there, and I'm seeing all this land that is part of our park, that, where the river is actually way over here. That would be the place to put a river walk along the river. I mean, even if it was just a small pathway, because this land here is beautiful. Right, that's what I'm saying. So like bringing,
Oh, here, come back.
yeah, that would be, that's a river walk. You know, I mean, and this is beautiful. It's part of our parkland and, it's a great resource, which is, there's a lot, you
Get
know.
Elon Musk here. Let's see if he can do it.
No, I'm just saying, you know, the idea of walking along the river.
Yes, Paul.
Listening to this conversation, like you, there's no way that I could in good conscience vote to spend $400,000 to construct a soccer field. So if we're going to go down that road, I've got to say, I can't support it. And I love soccer. We got to figure out something to be able to do down there. I don't know what the difference is between an NCAA regulation field and adult field. They're the same thing. So I think that we can construct a field down there that will suit all the things that, all the different age groups without spending $400,000. We're getting way too expensive with taxpayer dollars here when trying to spend them, you know, twice. So that's my take, and I love soccer, but I'm not going to vote for anything that even comes close to spending that kind of money to put a soccer field in.
Okay,
Period.
thank you for your input. Oh, sage person.
Can we just get a motion so we can decide if somebody wants to make one?
You guys want to make a motion? Because I mean, I hear you, but I think developmentally, I don't see this working. I just don't.
You know, I think it would be worth the investment.
That's fine. Make a motion then.
I'll make a motion that we look into creating a regulation NCAA field down at the, Olympia Meadow Park.
Do we have a second? We have a second. Any further discussion? Mr.
Question.
Gibbons,
What is, Tom, to you directly, what is a regulation NCAA field? Please tell me what that is.
Well, I was 110 yards by 75 yards. Which I don't see, I see that as feet in here. That's what I've known and what we've gone to lay out for, a regulation.
I'll give you the 110 to 120 yard length, but you don't
Right.
necessarily need 75 feet in width. You can certainly do it
75
in
yards.
70 or 65. That's
Well, I'm
just
not sure
my
what the
answer to
minimum
you.
is. I'm not sure, maybe Joe can tell
There's
me.
a 10-yard range, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So what would be the minimum? 65 yards?
The minimum is 55 by 100,
No, width, we're talking.
Yeah, I know.
55 feet,
55 yards.
yards, excuse me, 55 yards.
I think,
The
I'm
high
not
school
sure.
field is about 65.
Right.
The
So
main
it's gotta be at least. Yeah. I don't have my information in front of me. The football, a regulation football field is smaller. It's six, I
Absolutely.
believe
Okay,
it's,
let's-
I believe
point of
it's
order. Let's
60
stay with
yards.
soccer here.
Right, well, I'm trying to explain. 60 yards wide is for a football field, which is roughly what I created. I believe 75 yards wide is for a regulation soccer field.
This 225 or 75.
Just want to remind you that Messi isn't coming here to Great
That was
Barrington to play
regulation
soccer.
field. Okay. Well, that's what I propose, that we try to create a
All right, we have
regulation
a
size
motion
field.
and a second. Any further discussion? I'm gonna call for a vote. Mr. Gibbons, are you in support of this motion?
No,
Bill?
Yeah.
Julie?
No.
Tom?
Yes,
Terry? No. Steve?
No,
No, because I
Okay,
would,
thank you. Karen, no. Motion is defeated. There's democracy at work.
Make a motion to do that, try to look into the high school size field.
I second that motion.
Mr. Aberdale, do you have any input financially on what a high school field would cost? I'm sorry, I'm looking.
I think I did.
Oh, it's $225,000. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead. If you want to make that motion, I'll take it. Yeah,
it's already been made on second.
okay, great. Any further discussion? The high school field, the approximate cost is $225,000. Does that include permitting? So add 50. Thank you. So now we're up at 275, 265.
Is there space in Memorial Field for a high,
No.
for soccer
No,
at the end? No.
Good idea, though. I thought the same.
we,
I would,
I
you
know,
know,
we've been trying this for years, that I was gonna wake up one morning and hit it with a wand.
I wish the
I
town
wish
would buy
that-
the fairgrounds and then we'd have space. I would totally vote for that at town meeting.
Yeah, best of luck with that.
so we're looking at the difference of $150,000 between these two proposals, correct?
I would suggest that.
Probably closer to 100, because if you
Yeah.
take the 45 and 225,
Yeah, you're talking about 265, 275.
Okay,
Do a
well,
high school field, okay.
I know it's been
Bill,
voted down for
question?
the extra 100,000.
Wait a minute, go ahead, Paul.
question, the motion is a regulation high school
High
field?
school,
yes.
high
Just,
school.
just like you said, Paul.
So, Bill, please define that word regulation high school field, please. So I know what I'm
Thank you.
voting on.
I think it's like, isn't that, 65, is that 65 yards, Joe, or
Well, that's a feet.
65 feet, so it'd be like,
65 by 110?
165.
That's,
165 by 110?
No, by 300
No,
that's feet.
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 165 feet by 300 feet.
165 feet by 300 feet. So that's 100 yards. Did I do the math right?
The close end zones, right?
Yeah, okay,
Oh, no.
okay. So, and the cost of that is approximately $265,000. Okay.
Lot of money.
That's
That's a lot of money.
265?
I need my dinner.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, it's for get the work done.
One more word. I mean, I could vote to spend some money, but I still don't understand why it is costing so much. It's just a bare piece of land. What are we doing?
So first of all, there's permitting, Mr. Gibbons. And then second of all, we have to relocate the Riverwalk.
Can I see this?
Oh, okay, that's part of this motion then.
We have-
correct.
Yeah, in order to
Okay.
do this, we have to relocate the Riverwalk.
Earth Movers Anonymous.
So can I have one more little thought to add to this?
Please do.
Can you look at this? What if we did a compromise between, you know, where this,
Where what?
the width of the high school field is written down here at 165, if we extended that over as far as we could go to hit the existing river pathway. So it's not going the full 225, but let's say it's going 1 75, 180. And getting, trying to get a little bit length. If I look at this, I believe you could go back. I mean, what I'm saying is, could we do an alternative that's not the minimum high school field, but a bigger than minimum high school
hybrid.
field?
I could do whatever you want.
No, but I mean, to fit it in there, to keep it in within
I see what you're saying,
the cost.
but there's like
I
10 or
mean,
15 yards in there. that
well,
you can
15 yards is big.
Yeah, that you can extend to the east before you hit the river walk.
Correct.
I see what you're saying,
That's what part of what I mean, that's why I'm seeing these plans that were presented.
Okay, can I make a suggestion, just for the hell of it?
Sure.
Can we table this until we can have a more?
Just what I was gonna say.
Oh, that's because great minds think alike, Paul. And Chamberlain was about to pipe up that way also, so.
I move
would
to
like
table.
Second. We'll table it till we have more definitive, and you can come and sit there and argue with the footage and then whatever.
Well,
all right?
whatever,
And
I
then we'll
think-
do it.
I think it's worth exploring to see if we can
I'm
tweak
not
it.
saying it's not, Tom.
Right.
But we're not dealing
Okay.
with facts and evidence here. I've got 3 boxes. I got a U12 high school NCAA,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be some hybrid met of that. It's like,
No
what does that
no
mean?
debate on a tabling motion.
What did he say?
There's no debate on table.
Excellent. I'm so
Yeah, but
glad you said that.
Didn't we also, I made a motion that was seconded
Yeah, but
before
the
that.
vote to table supersedes that.
The vote to table supersedes and Rogers, so we're gonna vote to table on that. Paul, vote to table, yes or no?
I move yes to the table.
Got it. Bill,
Sure.
Julie,
Yes.
Tom,
Sure.
Terry,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Sir Debbie, Karen, yes, great. It is tabled. May I suggest to you, Tom, that you come up with a thing like this with what you were talking about, and then see if we can get some costs in that for next meeting.
Could I work with Mr. Averdale
I
on this?
would hope you
If he
would.
would let me, or we can arrange.
If he'll
that.
let you in his office.
Well, no, but.
I
just
don't
so
know
I
if
have-
let you in the office.
We can tweak it a little bit and come up with some suggestions that would,
Okay,
because the main goal would be to try to bring the costs down, is, Correct.
yeah. Well, the permitting is gonna be your biggest issue. Okay, subcommittee on the park and rec position, update.
you're gonna do a little league.
Nothing, we have nothing right now.
But then that.
We've not worked.
So you have met.
on that.
Okay. Um,
That's-
what?
We're not putting that in the bottom of the bureau.
No,
This would be.
evidently, because we have no, whatever. New business. I would like that this committee would do some work over the next 6 months about and how we do this. I would like to introduce that we start to get volunteerism as part of what needs to happen in this community starting with kids. I've seen it in some other communities. I was in California for 10 days and I went to a PTA meeting. Why, I don't know. And I was impressed with the way the school and the local recreation group was like important that kids do a day a year, 2 hours a month. And also buddy up with adults, and I would like that to start to become a discussion with this group. I think it's important. If you talk to Terry and to Steve and you go back and Joe, 20 years ago, we never had a problem with Little League. We never had a problem with people mowing lawn. We never had a problem with any of that because people were on it. The problem now, and I'm gonna use the phrase helicopter parents. Dump and run, and I see it in all the time, and I think that. And I understand that people have jobs and they're trying to do stuff, but I think we need to. I mean, the people sitting at this table. These two particularly have been volunteering for 35 years. And I think that we need to start to share that with the community, and I think that we need to get our kids involved in a better way. Pay it forward type stuff. So I would like that to whatever. I am going to suggest Does anybody know when Alana's coming back?
No.
Okay. I'm out of here in 2 weeks. She needs to get in touch because she's got it next month all of herself. She's gonna have to, we have no Carolyn. So there's gonna be some administrative stuff. And if she's not here, I can't do anything about it. So you guys need to understand that.
When did
Okay?
we move that meeting?
What?
I'm just wondering when the meeting is. February 5th, first Monday, okay?
Not that far away.
No, maybe we change, I don't know. I can't help you. I'm out of here on the 30th.
And changing, it's gonna be a problem because of the town schedule.
That's true. You are so right.
That's how we
That's
fit
how
it
we
in.
came to
Yeah.
it.
That's how we came to the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So. I'm saying that to you as a group. So you guys can do what you gotta do. We have some citizens here who would like to speak and they've been most patient. And Mr. Geiler, Mr. Rich Geiler serves on the CPA committee. And his partner, Michael, has something he needs to talk to us about. So I've asked, please stand up, identify yourself and let us know what you need or what your concerns are.
Thank you. Michael Monroe, 19 Hemlock Hill Road. Rich Schuyler, 19 Hemlock Hill Road. We asked to talk about the Housatonic Rail Trail and the changes that have been made that now state that horseback riding cannot be done on that portion of the trail. So our questions are, well, hopefully we can get some information and better understanding. We're both relatively new here, and we don't know how things work. But we'd like to also understand how this happened and if it can be modified. And for any future trails that horses are not excluded, because where else can horses be on the trails? Here in the Great Barrington area. That Housatonic Trail has been used for horses. I've used it a couple times a month with a colleague who allows me to ride with that person. And we have no incidences. Children in particular love to see and pet horses, and these horses are very calm, gentle. It's rare that they defecate on the trail. And now with the pavement, the signage reads, no horses, so my questions would be, like, what was the process with the change of use?
Can I just point out two process things? One is we can't answer anyways, because it's under the open meeting law, this isn't on the agenda. Number two is we have no jurisdiction over this. This is not a park, and we didn't have anything to do with this.
Can you tell who does have jurisdiction?
That was
Somebody
done,
has to have
that was
jurisdiction.
done through the town and the select board.
So the select board would have answers?
Yes, but you would have to get it put on an agenda. You could ask the questions and we would have to put it on further agenda. But yes,
You were on the select board.
Yeah.
Put the
Yeah,
question.
he's kind of,
not at this meeting because it's not on the agenda.
So in advance of the next select board meeting, I'd have you submit those questions.
Yeah, Monday night, so that meeting's full, so probably the meeting after that.
The other,
welcome to small town municipality
I
logistics.
suppose a secondary question would be, in our discussions, even with Mr. Aberdale, there was a question as to whether this committee ought to have jurisdiction over trails.
It's not our choice.
Well, who makes the choice?
The select board.
Select board.
So, I mean, that would be a question, secondary question we would be bringing up.
Yeah, and it's also the town charter. We would have to look if the charter would even allow that, because it's not a park. Suppose we could make it a park, but
if I may say, it appears that, I'm not sure what it is, but it reminds me of the last meeting here when people were upset about Housatonic water and they were told by the select board that nothing could be done when something could be done. So.
I don't know what that has to do with this. And
Well, it sounds like the same type of situation.
so you want me to violate the open meeting law and you want this group to do something when they have no jurisdiction over it? I mean, it's not that I'm stalling you, it's just we have no jurisdiction over it. It's not a park. We've never, if you could find one time in our minutes that we actually even discussed this, none of these ladies and gentlemen on this board have ever discussed this. We may all have opinions about it, but we've never discussed
I'd
it.
like to ask about this document, the Great Barrington Community Preservation Committee, where it talks about application for CPA funding step 2, where it talks about the trail and the materials that we use, but it's
That
not.
is not this group's purview.
Yeah.
CPA, okay, I have some understanding of that. If you have a question about CPA, then you need to go to Mr. Rembold and to the chair of CPA at that, on that format. It's not here. This is Park and Rec.
So if I'm understanding correctly, anything to do with this trail, Sonic Trail that's been modified, or any future trails to be modified for inclusion or exclusion of use does not pertain to this committee.
Yeah, it's not a park, unfortunately. Now, whether you want to try to make it a park, that's another story. I suppose we could try
I'll
to do
give you an
that.
example, Michael. It used to be that the Hoosie Dome was under the auspice of the select board, as was the gazebo. And about 4 or 5 years ago, we finally got it together and said, you guys should probably not be doing that. It should probably be under the auspice of the Park and Rec Commission, which was made the official changes, and now that all did. How and what and where, all I know is that we have never had anything to do with the trails, ever. And the changes that were made on the material on the trails, that was done because of the process and what was being done with the trails and the width of them. I mean, a lot of people were upset about that because they were too wide and they were taking down 350 trees, except trees were all, you know, an inch in diameter. There's a whole lot of folderol for no reason. I think your point is very valid. The question is, I don't know who is gonna make that call. And I think the next step is you put it to the select board and say, hey, there was a change of use. How did it happen? Why did it happen? And how do we prevent that from happening?
And what I would
It
invite,
can it be modified because, I'm not clear, and I would like to request the proper authority to have a test area. There's a parking area at the trail of that same material, and maybe to walk a horse over it and see if it does impact the structure, because horses do ride on roads and there's no impact. That's a very hard surface. I'm not sure it would negatively impact the trail.
I would suggest that you come Monday night, speak during citizens speak, request that the board look into this. You have 3 minutes to speak, you can do that in 3 minutes, and then turn it over to the select board. I mean, it's a proper group to turn it over to. So that way, at least, we can make some sort of a determination. I have no say. I don't really care one way or another. I'd hear from Mr. Remble and I'd hear from Mr. Aberdale. And if it's not ruining it, if there's no logical reason to keep horses off, that's one thing. If there was a logical reason, we'll listen to it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you much. Thank you all.
have a good evening.
Thank you. And that meeting Monday will be as exciting as this one. So.
Promises, promises. Yeah.
I'll try to keep my seat.
Yes.
Yeah, don't,
Yeah, no reserved seats, so don't leave your coat here until Monday.
all right, commissioner speak, Mr. Meyer.
I sent a letter to the Conservation Commission about the weeds. I got no response. I sent another letter to Shep Evans, who is the
Conservation agent.
conservation agent. I've gotten no response. And so I'm just putting it out there to the board that I've tried and I'm not getting anything. I'm not taking it as a popular item.
Did you, I don't remember what was said in the letter. Did you ask to be on an agenda? You may have done that already.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I don't think-
So they have not responded. No, the letter was good.
Yeah, no, the letter was good. I just
found it.
didn't remember. what
It's
was
in
said.
here. I have it. Matter of fact, it's right here. I have it right here.
So, Bill, can I make one suggestion?
This is mine.
I love that.
Yeah. Bill, can I
I
make a
even put
suggestion?
notes on.
Which I don't know if you have time to do. Go to their next meeting and talk to the citizens speak time. And I will also put a bug in people's ears too.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
I think common courtesy to answer you, even if the answer is, yeah, we don't like your idea, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
Which they can't really do at a non-public meeting, but yeah, I will be glad tomorrow when I talk to the town manager to put a bug in people's ears that at least the response from paid staff is important.
Yeah, because we all agreed on it.
No,
Oh, no, I agree.
I'm serious. I went through my stuff today and I was like, where the hell, what happened with Meyer and his letter, the poke?
I tried.
I understand. Well, here's the other part. I would suggest keep poking. I would lob some more email bombs saying, hey, what's the deal?
He probably has better things to do.
I'm
That's the
sure you're
problem.
right, you're right.
I hope.
Ms. Anadrol, how are you today? What, do you have anything you need to chat?
No, thanks.
Mr. Norton?
Nope.
Mr. Taylor? Mr.
Nothing.
Banyan?
No.
Ms. Reddy?
No.
Mr. Gibbons?
My apologies for not being there in person tonight.
Well, you just didn't want to shovel, so let's not get, all right?
I was
Okay.
hoping my son would come by and do it, but he hasn't.
Yeah, I don't have one of those either. So, okay, so
College, you're
February
never on
5th, you guys have a meeting.
Okay.
I was been over in a couple of years. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm hoping that somebody will get it together. And then March 18th, I'll be back on the 9th of March.
Who's,
Oh,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Who will put the agenda together?
Be the vice chair.
The vice chair
Right.
needs to do all that.
Oh,
It should be, right?
yeah.
Bill, I've texted the
Okay.
town manager.
So I'll just text her and make sure she knows
She needs
February 5th.
to get it together before I leave, because she hasn't bothered to ask, and I've told her 3 times I'm gonna be out of here. And she doesn't know, and because Carolyn's not here, it changes the whole dynamic
Right.
about everything, okay? Thank you. Motion to adjourn,
Adjourn second.
everybody.
Aye.
Evans is already gone. Thank you. Thank you.